Yeah, it's definitely panic. But as far as Coach Prime, it's rinse repeat. It's the same story after every loss, which is pretty much almost every game, Greeny. I mean, he is really brilliant with the media. I'm not so sure he's brilliant as a head coach. I don't see any improvement from this team. And instead of talking about the CFP, which we were maybe a couple of weeks ago, now we're trying to figure out a way whether Colorado can get to a bowl game. This thing feels like it's headed for a disintegration. I mean, I wouldn't call it a divorce because, frankly, they need him more than he needs them. But at some point, I think Deion Sanders is going to say, I've got to get out of here and go someplace else.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
All right, Paul Finebaum. One interesting prediction that was about Deion Sanders. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Paul Finebaum predicting that this will be Deion Sanders' final season at Colorado. Paul Finebaum also stated that Deion Sanders will be quitting at Colorado sooner rather than later. With Colorado getting blown out against Nebraska this past Saturday, there is increasing pressure from the media for Deion Sanders to produce results at Colorado. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Is this Deion Sanders' final season at Colorado? Right now, I would say yes. Not because Colorado will fire Deion Sanders if he fails, but because Deion Sanders will flat out quit on Colorado. What is the main reason Deion Sanders is there at Colorado? To make sure that Shedeur Sanders and his friend Travis Hunter get drafted into the NFL. And obviously Deion Sanders wanted his son and his son's friend to get as much exposure as possible. Now, that's not to say that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter aren't legit, because they are indeed very legit prospects. Travis Hunter is easily a top 3 pick this upcoming draft. Travis Hunter is one of the best players in college football. He can play the wide receiver position at a high level, and he can also play the cornerback position at a very high level, particularly when he actually wants to tackle. That is probably Travis Hunter's biggest weakness right now, his willingness to tackle the ball carrier. And the reason why Travis Hunter probably doesn't want to tackle the ball carrier for now is because he is trying to protect his body. Travis Hunter understands that the ultimate goal of playing college football is to make sure that you end up getting on a professional football team. And obviously, if you take too many hits when you are tackling the opposing ball carrier, well, that's going to leave you susceptible to injuries. That's why Travis Hunter has not necessarily been trying his best to tackle opposing players. That being said, that is selfish, because you need to make sacrifices in order to help your defense out. If you're not making hard tackles as a cornerback, well, then opposing teams are going to keep targeting you in the run game and receiving game, knowing that, hey, if we get the ball in our hands, you're not necessarily going to tackle us at our hardest. Deion Sanders at Colorado has created a culture of me first, team second, and that's where a lot of Deion Sanders haters have been proven correct. Deion Sanders has created a culture where the player is more important than the team. In college football, you can't work in that type of environment and expect sustained success. Can you get immediate success? Yes, you can expect that. But in terms of long-term growth and development for an entire football team, it's not going to work like that. You can recruit all the guys you want to, but if you create a culture where the player is more important than the team, then the team is going to suffer as a result of that. That's probably one of the main reasons why Colorado's offensive line has been horrible. The way their offensive line has been playing, it's offensive. And they also are playing like a unit that wants Shedeur Sanders to get hurt, because they feel angered that Shedeur Sanders has such a high ego in his personality. And Shedeur Sanders does showcase his personality. We all know Shedeur Sanders has a personality in himself. He likes to express his feelings, and Shedeur Sanders likes to show off his swagger. Now, personally, I like Shedeur Sanders' skill set. I like his ability to throw a deep ball. I like his ability to evade pressure. And there is a lot to like about Shedeur Sanders' talent on the football field. However, the leadership of Shedeur Sanders worries me big time. I'm very worried about how Shedeur Sanders is going to handle adversity at the NFL level. I looked at Colorado versus Nebraska, and I saw Shedeur Sanders leave the field with 2 minutes left remaining in that ball game. It's not a good sign when your starting quarterback leaves the field during a ball game and leaves his teammates out to dry. And not only that, Shedeur Sanders blamed his offensive line for why he played horrible against Nebraska. Now, granted, did I actually agree with everything Shedeur Sanders said? Yes, However, Shedeur Sanders should have never said that part out loud, because now it looks like Shedeur Sanders is throwing his teammates under the bus. Even if Shedeur Sanders is right, it doesn't matter. When you're the quarterback of a college football program or on a professional football team, you must always take the blame first and foremost, particularly when you are that kind of guy that likes to flash your personality when you win football games, which hasn't been a lot for Colorado lately. Colorado has lost 9 out of their last 11 games under the Deion Sanders era, and they have turned into a complete media circus. That's why Paul Finebaum is talking about how Colorado doesn't necessarily care about winning, because if they actually cared about winning, then they would be getting on Deion Sanders or creating a circus clown show at Colorado. But obviously Colorado doesn't care. All they care about is making money, and honestly, who can blame Colorado? It's not exactly like Colorado was a winning program prior to Deion Sanders coming to Colorado. Colorado has been an irrelevant football program for years. Nobody cared about Colorado before Deion Sanders got there. Now that Deion Sanders is at Colorado, people care about Colorado. And what does that mean when people care about Colorado? They're willing to pay more money to see a product out there on the football field, which is exactly what the Colorado Athletic Booster team has essentially done. They know that they are not a winning program, and they know Deion Sanders is not going to turn around Colorado whatsoever. So you know what they're doing? They're just capitalizing off of Deion Sanders' name, and they're telling people, hey, come to Boulder on Saturday so you can go ahead and support Colorado. That way you can see Deion Sanders coach on the sideline while you get Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter as your star players. However, you need more than just a couple of good players in order to actually field a good football team. Colorado's offensive line is horrible. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. They're a soft team. Their defense is not good whatsoever. The good news for Colorado is, though, they play in the Big 12 Conference this year, so their schedule on paper should be a little easier than what it was last year. However, with the way how Colorado has played in their 2 games so far this season, who really even cares about the schedule? Like Jim Mora said in the beginning of this video, playoffs? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. And I thought that statement was well said by Jim Mora, because that's how I feel about Deion Sanders at Colorado. There were some people in the media that were talking about Colorado being a contender for the college football playoff before the season started. Now it seems like Colorado is not even going to make it to a bowl game. In fact, I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that Colorado will finish with less wins than they did last year. That's right, I got Colorado finishing the season with a 3-9 record, not because I don't believe in Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter, but because the rest of the Colorado roster is horrible. Their run defense is trash. They can't run the football. They're not a strong team whatsoever. They're a very soft team, and their team is very top heavy. Outside of a couple of players at Colorado, the rest of the roster is terrible. And Deion Sanders, although he tried his best to recruit at Colorado, it's clear he's not doing a good enough job developing these guys. And that's what happens when you rely on the transfer portal. You rely on the transfer portal, you end up getting a bunch of guys that aren't loyal to a program and are only joining a program for a check, which is essentially the culture at Colorado. That type of talk is why Deion Sanders is not going to be lasting much longer at Colorado. Now, I think Deion Sanders is going to quit on Colorado before Colorado fires him, because Colorado needs Deion Sanders in order to make more money for the program. However, Deion Sanders is a winner in his life, and he's not going to be willing to stick around a program that just loses football games all the time. You really think Deion Sanders is going to like staying around at Colorado for the rest of his coaching career? Because I highly doubt that's going to happen. The moment Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter declare for the 2025 NFL Draft, Deion Sanders is going to quit on Colorado. It's that simple. So that is why this will be Deion Sanders' final season at Colorado, as I believe Colorado will not end up making a bowl game this season. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.